Hello everyone, welcome to the final episode of 10-Minute International Students. And it's been an incredible journey, and I'm excited to wrap up with the topic that ties everything together, and the value and impact of studying abroad. I'm your host, Jessie, and joining me today are Bella and Harry, who hail from China and have successful careers in US after graduation. And please say hi to everybody, Bella
Hi.
and Harry.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, I'm Bella.
Okay, Harry, let's start with you. Can you start by telling us where you studied abroad and what you studied?
I studied in Syracuse University, and my major is computer science.
How about you,
Yes,
Bella?
I was in Philadelphia, and I was in University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
My major was called computer graphics and game technology, which was part of computer graphics.
Okay, I'll give you guys a brief introduction about myself. And I'm Jessie, and I am from the University of San Francisco, and my major is educational technology, and now I'm in my first semester. So the next question, before going abroad, what were your expectations, and how did the actual experience compare?
For me, I don't really have a very high expectations. I just want to finish school and find a job like all other graduates. So for the most part, I think it went out as what I expected. How about you, Bella?
I think for me, when I prepared going abroad, like finding a school or project, I asked myself what I wanted to learn. So I did some research, and I thought that I was very into video games that time, and I wanted to, and also I studied computer science a little bit, I coded a little bit, so I think that maybe I can combine these two. Maybe I can find a job, maybe I can get into career into this area. So that's how I got into this area. So I wanted to learn more about how to make games and how to be a good engineer and how can I survive as an engineer, something like that. Yeah, so I think I pretty much got everything that I want from this journey. Yeah.
So is there any difference between your real classroom and your imagination? Because, the education system in the US is quite different from China, right?
For our major, I think in US it's more project initiative. So
Yes, project-based.
So yeah, we spend the most of time working on projects, and it's just come due. So when we finish the first one, the next one coming up. But in China, it's more just lecture. So you have just taking classes, finish your homework, and that's it.
Yes, back in the time when I was in the university, I was like, a robot. Just sit there, listen to what teachers said to us, right? So there's much difference. And like you said, it's more like a project-based learning in the US, where the students are assigned with different tasks to complete during the class. And it's quite different, right? And you need to concentrate on the classes 100%.
Yeah. You do have to do a big effort to just survive in this US universities.
Yeah, because in China, the class mode is basically teacher-centered. Yeah, so how about you, Bella?
I feel like that in China, the education is more general. It's like you attend classes and everybody has a textbook.
Yes.
And so you don't really have idea of what you're really going to do after graduation. Right? Like before our graduation, I don't think I have a very clear idea of what I can do. But as I was in the US, in my graduate school, I think first the project itself or the program itself is more, I think it's not more narrowed or something. So it is very targeted. I feel like it prepares you for your future career.
Yes.
So, for example, my program is computer graphics and game technology. So from the name, you can tell that this is for making games, right? And also, there are a lot of resources in the school. I think the classes they had really get to prepare for what you're going to do in the future. They also have a lot of classes to. I think the things that we use, the software we use in the school, is also software that we are using now as a game developer.
Yeah.
So I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, I think your studying background does support what you do now. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Yes, and one thing impressed me deeply is that there is no standard answer assignment, right?
Yeah.
So there's no A, B, C, D, and you need to practice your critical thinking, problem solving abilities. To finish the homework.
We have the final examination, which is like paper-based examination, which is also like they ask you questions. There is a fixed answer or that. But most of the time, like you said, there were a lot of projects, and you can do whatever you can, and there's no answer, and you can
No correct answer. No standard answer. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's
No clear distinction between right and wrong. Yeah. And next question. What were some of the biggest cultural challenges you faced while studying abroad, and how did you adapt to them?
For me, most of the time, I just have to learn the way the local people doing things. I think it's more independent than what I do things in China. Most of the time, I have to handle things all by myself. For example, in China, when let's say, for example, in China, when I buy a furniture, I usually buy what I saw. But in the U.S., I have to assemble it like piece by piece. So just this is an example, just showing you have to do everything by your own.
How about you, Bella?
I think one thing that I feel that is that I was too timid to ask questions.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you have the same
Yes.
feeling, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the professor, we had the teaching assistants, and professor usually assign. You have all the assignments from professor, but a lot of times I don't know what this means, or I don't have a clear idea of what I should do. But there's also the teaching assistant. I feel like my classmates, my U.S. classmates, they use these resources better than me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we Chinese students are more introvert, but not introvert. But we are taught to be more mediocre.
Yeah,
Right.
Sometimes just we lack of some creative ideas. I guess we.
I don't think
It's
so. I
hard
think
to,
it's just we are so humble.
Probably. Yeah.
That a lot of times we are taught to be humble, and it's not good for you to stand up. To raise questions.
Yeah.
To show.
And sometimes
show
I
off
feel
what you can,
sometimes I feel that if I ask a question, does that mean that I am so bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we Chinese students typically facing off.
Yes, but other students might be courageous to challenge the authority, and they're more brave to ask questions. Yeah, so they're different about. I don't know. Should I call it the personality or the character? I don't know.
I think it's also cultural.
Yeah, it's
the culture cultivates your personality.
Yeah.
And I also think that because most of Chinese students feel this way, so I think it must be something from that region.
So the next question, how did your language skills evolve during your time abroad?
I think for me, it's a slow and a long process. I struggled in class trying to understand what the professor says during the school, and even after I graduated, I still sometimes don't understand what my supervisor says during the meeting. So I've been here for more than 10 years. I think I still in evolving my English. It's just a long process for me.
Yes, how about you, Bella?
Yeah, I feel the same way, that it takes a long time for me to really get used to talking in English. I think when I was in graduate school, I think at the very beginning, it's hard for me to be focused in the class because the professors was talking in English all the time, and it's very hard for me to always be focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sometimes try to understand what the professor said, but sometimes you miss the knowledge that professor, the points what the class is providing.
Yeah, so I think I missed a lot
definitely.
of points, a lot of knowledge that they
Gave
gave.
us.
Yeah.
And also, I think I'm not sure about every Chinese students, but I was not very good at spoken English. Yeah, so I don't want to talk too much. Yeah, I didn't want to talk too much. Yeah, and also I'm an introvert person that I don't have a really big circle for communication for something else like that. So there was really not much practice there. But I think as time goes by, as I found a job, and I think all the things, it was better because in an environment of a working environment, you have to have meetings and you have to talk to a person. You have to report like what you did or what's your plan, and it's better now. Yeah, I feel more comfortable with English.
Yeah, actually, I have a lot to say about this question because, I've only been here for 3 months. And
My English is already very good. Yeah,
it's
much better.
It's such a short time.
You're much better than us.
And actually, I have learned English for many years, and I'm sure that many Chinese students share the same questions, same problems. Like we may excel in reading, in writing, but we always struggle to express our thoughts logically and coherently, and our speaking, our English proficiency needs to improve. And I think the biggest reason for this is that we are always learning the academic English. So in the real world scenarios, we may face a lot of, the dialect, the vernacular, the specific expressions used in specific scenarios, and we may face a lot of, accents from different places. So it's really hard for us to get used to them, right? So it takes quite a lot of time, to improve our English. So the next question: what impact has studying abroad had on your career or professional life?
I was not in the IT industry when I was in bachelor. So I used to learn, my previous major is electrical engineering. So after I studied abroad, I changed my major to computer science. And I find a job in Silicon Valley. So if I didn't go abroad, I can't imagine what kind of job I would do in China. So yeah, I think that's a significant impact on me after I go abroad for study.
So how about you, Bella?
Same as you, I was in electric engineering before. So I think it's really the starting point for me to get into the game industry. Right? So I think that's the best thing studying abroad gave me. And also I feel like even at the very beginning when I started to prepare for getting abroad, there's a lot of things that you have to do to like finding all the majors that you wanna, all the programs that you wanna apply, and you have to take those tests. There's really a lot of things that you have to do. I did it all by myself. I think that was one of the highlights in my life because I did it all by myself. So I was very proud of myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too. Good job.
Yeah, as a new international student, I don't know whether I can find a job, but I'm desperate.
I think you can find a job.
Desperate to find one. Yeah, hands down. So the next question: can you talk about the types of connections and networks you built while studying abroad and how valuable they have been?
For me, I have a lot of classmates or, friends that came all the way from Syracuse University to Silicon Valley. This is we have a very big group of people here, so they can help us by giving us refers to jobs. So I think these connections is very important. And job refer is always the best because you can throw your resumes to plenty of companies, but maybe only a few of them would actually reply to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, not like you. I don't have a lot of all my friends from graduate school. I just lost them.
Oh, really?
No one of them.
Where are they now?
Yeah.
Some of them are in South Bay. They were in those big companies. And some of them went back to China.
Oh,
Yeah.
so not all of them. Maybe only a few of them are still in the gaming industry, right?
No,
Like you.
I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think. Besides me, I don't think anybody else was in the game industry. It's really weird that most of my classmates they just went into those general like IT company.
Yeah, maybe just they higher pay or something.
Yeah.
So have you ever established any new connections?
Yeah, my
Louis,
friends.
right?
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I made a lot of friends at work,
Yeah.
and some of them like Harry and a lot of people they were still in this area, so we still have time to. Sometimes we hang out.
Yeah.
That's how we keep
Yeah.
our relationship, like our friendship.
Yeah. So is Harry useful, helpful for you?
Yes. We
We
help
hike
each
together.
other. We help each other. Even in work, we help each
Yeah.
other.
So you were both colleagues and friends,
Yeah.
close friends.
Yeah.
Good for you guys. Okay, next one. What is one of your most memorable experiences from studying abroad that you think had a profound impact on you?
I think one thing I remember is just in US we studied it as a group. So projects is very hard and complicated in US. So me and some of my friends and me we sometimes book a room in the library. We just go there and spend all day there to figure out how to work on this project. So the difference is I never studied as a group to overcome difficulties. In China, we always just study alone, trying to solve problem all by our own. But in US, I learned how to do a teamwork. It's not like we copy each other's homework or something.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes they can provide us tips that could just make life easier for us. We can overcome.
Give you some inspirations.
Yes, give us some inspirations, and we can overcome difficulty together. That's the most memorable experience I have. Yes, we can work as a team and I think the professor wanted us to work as a team to overcome difficulties together. That's just a things I remember.
Yeah, group activity is actually very important. For one thing, you can build a new relationship, new connections with other
bonds with your friends. That's really helpful.
Strengthen your bonds with your classmates. And on the other hand, you can sometimes it may stimulate the competition, but it's not the bad one, but good. Right, competition.
Competition is good.
Yeah, to stimulate you to move forward a little bit. Okay.
I actually had a very bad experience, like one bad experience about group work.
Oh, really? Tell me about it.
I was working with another classmate, and I'm not sure, he was so busy with some other of his stuff, like his daily work or something. He has some other stuff going
schedule,
on. Yeah, so it's a group work, but he didn't do anything.
Sometimes
so
happens.
I ended up doing everything, and it was not fun at all. But then it's a group work, so if the professor gives you a grade, it's a grade for both of you.
Sometimes it's unfair.
I
this
it's
way.
fair. So at the last of it, we have to do a presentation. So I talked to him like, you didn't do anything, but at least you should do the presentation.
Okay.
That's a good bargain.
So he did the presentation, but that's how it ended.
So you two didn't divide your tasks?
We did, but he didn't do his job.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the very beginning,
so it's important.
But
to
you are
find
still a
good,
group.
partners.
You need to
complete
this. Okay.
Yeah, so in the end, I did his job. I did his part. Yeah, he did the presentation.
It's important to find a good partners, I guess. Yeah. Did both of you get the good grades on that class?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask him like what grade you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question. What advice would you give to someone considering studying abroad? And what are some must-dos and what should they avoid?
I think the important thing is to balance your life and study and try to build connections with your classmates. And for me, sometimes it could be really hard. You struggle in your study, just try not to give up. I mean, just hang in there, but sometimes the difficult times could pass and everything just gonna be better.
Go for it.
Yeah, just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that. I think there's so much resource there, especially in the U.S. school, because you pay the tuition that's so expensive. So use all that resources, no matter if it's a professor or the TA or there are also like the library. I didn't use the library well.
And the gym.
The gym. You have to pay for the gym in our school. So grab everything you can to the things you want.
Yes. Okay, the last question. Okay, for a fun question to wrap up our discussion and our series, do you think studying abroad was worthwhile? And if you could study abroad again, would you choose the same country or explore somewhere new? And why?
Yes, I think studying abroad was very worthwhile. I made a lot of friends. I improved my skill sets. And if I can start all over again, maybe I just try some other countries, maybe Great Britain. I don't know. I just felt like it's a different culture experience.
Yeah, I think that's worthwhile too. Yeah, I think without this opportunity, this experience, I won't get into this industry. Yeah, giving me what I want. And also, I would do the same thing again, but maybe I would make a tiny little bit difference there that I might work for a few years before I. Before I apply.
So you can fully understand what the
what I really
professors
want.
do.
That I should really cherish these 2 years in the school to use whatever I can. I think I should.
And so far, I think it's worthwhile for me. Yeah, the US has been incredibly rewarding for me, at least. There's so much more to discover, and we enjoying the most cutting edge technology here. So it's a really eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think US contains the most latest technologies.
Yeah, especially the Bay Area.
Yeah, those all AI. I mean, there's different ages have different latest technologies, but in the school you can always access to that. That's the most beneficial thing you can have in US.
Yes. Okay, that's wonderful to hear. Bella and Harry, thank you so much for sharing your journeys and insights with me. And to all our listeners, whether you are an international student or just dreaming of new horizons, remember that the world is vast and the opportunities for learning are endless. And thank you for tuning in to 10 Minutes International Students. And it's been a pleasure to explore these stories with you. And keep chasing your dreams whenever they may lead you. And goodbye and take care. Bye-bye.